This video is going to be all about audio. We're going to talk about setting audio levels on an FM communications radio, like what we would find in the amateur spectrums for FM, and also for commercial folks out there, what you would find with analog FM radio. First, let's talk about wideband and narrowband. Wideband is typically 20 or 30 kilohertz spacing, channel spacing, at VHF, and 25 kc channel spacing at UHF. Deviation is 5 kilohertz. Narrowband is half of that, 12.5 kc spacing and 2.5 kilohertz maximum deviation. Everything you'll find in FCC Part 90, the commercial bands, business and public safety, is narrow band. General Mobile Radio Service Part 95 is a mixture of both. Most repeaters are wideband. The FRS channels are narrowband. Part 97, the amateur service, you can do either way, whatever you want. The vast majority of systems are wideband, although there are a few in various areas across the country that are narrowband, but the vast majority wideband. We're going to focus on wideband as far as these levels are concerned, and just remember, if you're doing a narrowband system, the levels are half of that. The universal standard audio tone frequency for these tests and level setting is 1 kilohertz. Deviation level standard is 3.2 kilohertz of deviation. The reason we use 3.2 kc in lieu of 5 kc is depending on which make and model of transmitter you have, the clipper, the roll-off filter starts to roll off. Maximum deviation filter starts to roll off at anything above 3.2, 3.5, whatever kc. So 3.2 is a good safe. You know you're going to have a clean, pure sine wave with no distortion from any clipping. If you're adding a PL tone, you want to make sure that you set your test tone to 3.2 kc deviation before you commence to encoding your PL tone, because it's going to add to it. I set my PL at 600 hertz, so that's going to add to it. So we're going to have a total of 3,800 hertz of deviation if you add the PL tone. So always remember, you want to kill your PL tone before you set the level of your test tone, so you make sure that that's going to be okay. You want to make certain that you have enough signal to produce a full quieting signal into the receiver that you're testing and adjusting the levels on, because noise will add to the audio level and give you an erroneous setting. Personally, when I'm setting up a duplex system, such as a repeater, a standalone repeater, or two repeaters linked together at the same site, I like to add a little bit of gain on the deviation, just so many people have soft voices, don't speak right into their mics, come through kind of soft. That helps give a little bit of boost there. So typically I like 3.2 going in and about 3.5, 3.6 coming out. Now this is the output of the radio that I'm setting up, so this is my level. Sorry about the wave scrolling across the screen like that. That's my camera, but you can see about 3.4 kc deviation there. Or 3.8, excuse me. 3.2 and 6 is, excuse me, all the way around here. 3.2 and 2 to 3 is 3.4, 3.5, which is what you see. The transmitter here, of course, will reject the PL tone frequency, so you don't have to worry about that. It won't be added to this here, so this is what you see. Now, of course, if your transmitter encodes tone, that's another story. This particular repeater system, the transmitter will not encode tone. And what's going on here? Sorry about that. Had a loose connector on the receiver front end there. So notice the transmitter is transmitting, and you'll notice there's no audio. The PL tone's being completely rejected by the high-pass filter. And as you can see, when the transmitter comes up, there's about 3.4 kc a deep there. The controller I'm using here is an Arcom 210, but what I'm telling you here, these rules apply to whatever controller you're using, even if you're building your own or whatever. This is what you're doing. Likewise, if you're installing a phone patch or anything that takes audio from one radio to another device, this is the way you want to set these levels. And when you're looking at your audio coming out of your receiver discriminator, typically it's discriminator audio. Some instances you may need to use volume control or line level audio, but typically it's discriminator audio. You want to make sure you got a good clean sine wave before you go any farther, and thus your end results, you make sure you have a sine wave all the way through. So again, there's your sine wave coming out the other end there.